The verdict is in on Bobby McMahon. Did the NHL get it right? You're listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
You're Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Leafs podcast, a daily Maple Leaf-centric podcast hosted by myself, Mike DiStefano, and my co-host, Dave Morassutti. Thank you so much for making us your daily listen, and thank you for making the Locked On Network the number one sports network in the country. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NHL live bets all season long. Well, the verdict is in, Dave, on Bobby McMahon. Yesterday's show, we talked about whether or not he should be suspended. We both thought, based on prior suspensions or non-suspensions, that maybe a fine would be the appropriate punishment for Bobby McMahon. However, the NHL decided, nope, 1-game suspension. So Bobby McMahon will not be in action for the Maple Leafs next game. What did you make of how things kind of played out there?
Yeah, can't say I'm surprised, just because as soon as the call for a hearing was done, I'm like that, like it was gonna be tough to not see something happen. But at the end of the day, a suspension like that, I found it harsh personally, like considering there wasn't an injury that came from it. But once again, the NHL's
supposedly that's not. I always forget. Like I could have swore that they don't take whether or not the player got injured into account. Am I right on that, or is that taken into account? I feel like it switches up often whether or not that happens.
Because I've seen plays where it should be a suspension because it looks like there's intent there to do something. And it's
nothing, like that shouldn't matter whether or not the guy got injured or not. It should have to do with intent, right?
Yeah, generally it should, because I didn't mean I kind of was careless with my stick, but I didn't mean to hurt him. Right. I didn't mean to hurt him as bad. Well, at the same time, you did a careless thing, and we feel you got to get punished for that. But I get it. Like, fans are pissed because we've seen, again, when you throw examples out there, like the Trouba one's been the biggest one, right?
Trouba literally takes a slap shot across Trent Frederick's side of the head and got a $5,000 fine. This, obviously, there was a downward motion, and it looks like he does get Bjorkstrand kind of in the side of the face there. There was contact to the head, but it's not nearly as forceful. It doesn't look nearly as malicious as other plays that weren't suspended. And that's the biggest issue that I think people have with the Department of Player Safety. There's just no consistency. Like, if you're going to make this suspendable, then the other play has to be suspendable as well. And if you come up with a new parameter, they have to come out and say, this is why we believe this is suspension, which they do. But then you also have to say, prior in others past, right, this may not have been a suspendable play. Under the new guidelines, that would be a suspendable play. And that, to me, would clear up some of the
1,000,000%.
So if they come out, and they're like, this is a suspendable play, and I know that there's a lot of discourse right now about the Trouba play under the new kind of parameters of what we deem suspendable after, consideration, talking with the player and the safety committee. That play should have been suspended, or in the modern day would be suspended. 2-3 years ago it wasn't, but today it would be a suspendable play. Okay, great. Then I think we can kind of clarify that and move forward. But if it's always going to be this inconsistent, it makes the Department of Player Safety an absolute joke. It really does. It's a joke sometimes. Like, I remember that was it Jason Spezza who got suspended for 5 or 7 games, and it was like,
and he fought it, and he got it reduced.
Yeah, because of course it was just such a ridiculous lengthy suspension. But I don't know. It's one game. Like it's not the end of the world. It's a shame because the third line have been playing some really good hockey, and now you kind of have to break that line up for the game against San Jose. But I guess, yes, you got to know where your stick is. You got to make sure you're in control of it at all times, especially when it's up high near someone's head. But to me, it feels like they kind of gave the book to Bobby McMahon. Didn't feel like it was suspendable, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I in my opinion, I don't think it was suspension worthy. I thought a fine, it would have been more, plenty, because you're telling the player, be more careful with your stick. Next time, guess what? You're not going to be so lucky.
Do we have the video? Because the NHL Department of Player Safety, they put up videos now explaining why. At least there is that clarity.
I just remember the good old Shanahan videos that started when he was, that's when it started, when he was there.
Yeah, and then George Peros has continued doing it. So why don't we listen to the video that the league put out as to why they've decided to suspend Bobby McMahon, to give us, I guess, a more clear picture of, what they were deliberating themselves.
Monday night in Toronto, Maple Leafs forward Bobby McMahon was assessed a match penalty for high-sticking Lightning forward Oliver Bjorkstrand. As the video shows, McMahon lifts his stick over his head to move it away from an approaching linesperson. After being shoved by Bjorkstrand, McMahon brings the raised stick downwards towards Bjorkstrand from a dangerous height, striking him in the head with sufficient force to merit supplemental discipline. This is high sticking. It is important to note that this is not the typical motion of a player merely bringing a raised stick down to the ice and accidentally making contact with an opponent. This is also not a situation where a player simply loses control of his stick, or where an off-balance player is careless in an attempt to steady himself. McMahon is in full control of both his stick and his own body at all times during this play, and simply must display more control to ensure his stick does not directly strike his opponent's head in this situation. To summarize, this is high sticking. McMahon has been neither fined nor suspended previously during his 169-game NHL career. The Department of Player Safety has suspended Bobby McMahon for 1 game.
It's such an official,
We have suspended Bobby McMahon for 1 game.
The Department of Player Safety has suspended Bobby McMahon for 1 game. It's so official. But
good job sticking to the script, Georgie. The part that gets me. Okay, everything you point to, I can understand then why it led to your decision. But then if I go back and I look at high sticking fines, and I'm sure I can find a handful of examples outside of the Jacob Trouba one. If I were to compare those and say, how come those were fines, but Bobby McMahon got suspended?
Right.
I guarantee the NHL would not give a straight answer on that.
No. The only difference is it came with a downward force that is unnatural unless, he intended on doing that. But I could make the argument. I've seen a lot of, kind of quasi cross checks to the mouth where guys are just kind of going to hit them with their glove or give them a little stink face and end up cross-checking somebody, hit them with their stick in the face. I mean, you could argue that also is, an unnatural motion, and you're getting the stick up high. That happens, very frequently. Or stick rides up and ends up hitting. Well, I guess that's a little bit different, as noted. But I don't know. I personally thought that it was just going to be a fine. Didn't seem that malicious or intentful to warrant a suspension. I thought a fine just to kind of get him on the books, I guess, would have been sufficient enough for me. But I guess the Department of Player Safety felt otherwise, and Bob McMahon won't be in action when the Maple Leafs play the San Jose Sharks What do they play Thursday? Is that Thursday? They're off till Thursday, I believe.
Yeah,
So
they play
they'll play
San Jose on Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow, off night tonight. So no Bobby McMahon. He can hit the showers until the game against Edmonton. So at least he'll be back for the Oiler game. That'll be big. That'll be big to have him back for the Oiler game. All right, let's take a break. Let's come back. Let's talk a little bit about Ben Danford and his likelihood of making Canada's World Junior roster this year. We'll get to that. We got some cosign, no sign planned for you as well. Lots coming up here on the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
Today's edition of the Locked On Leafs podcast is brought to you by Monarch. The holidays are amazing, but they can get overwhelming fast. Travel, gifts, parties, year-end expenses. It's really easy to lose track of your money this time of year, and that's exactly why Monarch has become such a game changer for me. If you want to keep your finances under control this holiday season, you need to be using Monarch. Rated Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025, Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use dashboard. The holiday spending category can become a lifesaver. You can see exactly what's left in your gift and travel budget in real time. In minutes, you can check your net worth, link all your accounts, and keep track of your contributions before deadlines. And it's great for couples, shared dashboards, shared goals, and fewer, wait, how much did we spend conversations. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKDOWNNHL at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. Today's show is also brought to you by DUER. Holidays are here, and this year I'm not stressing about what to wear because I'll be wearing my DUERs. DUER's denim and lifestyle apparel is engineered for movement and versatility. If you don't have your own DUERs, now is the time. I've been recommending DUERs to all my friends. These are my favorite jeans to wear for any occasion, and you can tell the difference with DUER's high-quality, temperature-regulating Cool Max fabrics. They keep me warm, but I don't overheat. DUER invented the original performance denim, and they give us the best of both worlds, combining classic jean wear style with the kind of comfort and performance you get from athletic wear. Designed to look great and stay comfortable all day long, all year round. It's time for you to experience the comfort of DUER, and I know you'll love them. Pick up a pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift, and you can check them out here in Toronto at 44 Ossington Avenue. Mention our promo code LOCKEDONToronto in store to get 15% off your first order, or check them out online at DUER.ca/LockedOnToronto for 50% off your order. That's DUER.ca/LockedOnToronto.
Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you, as we are each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, with brand new episodes of the Locked On Leafs podcast. Free and available wherever you get your podcasts. You can also subscribe to the pod on YouTube as well. It's an off day for the Maple Leafs. They didn't practice yesterday either. It's been a bit of a busy sked, so they had the off day here on Tuesday. They'll get back on the ice later today on Wednesday, and then they're back in action tomorrow night when the San Jose Sharks come to town. So they're on a nice little 5-game homestand here. Obviously 1-0-1 to start. That overtime loss or shootout loss to Montreal. They beat Tampa 2-0 yesterday, and they got San Jose, Edmonton, and then Chicago. Think about the trio of players coming to town this next week, Dave. You've got Macklin Celebrini and the Sharks, followed by Connor McDavid and the Oilers, followed by Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks. What a 3-pack of games that we got coming up here in the city of Toronto. Some star talent rolling through the city.
Yep, some star talent, and it's that time, right? Holiday gifts for everyone, I guess, is the best way, probably the best way to say it.
Yeah, those are some expensive gifts. There's going to be some expensive gifts, but if you use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL at Gametime, you can get $20 off your first purchase.
Oh, well, I did have an opportunity to go to the game against San Jose. got offered free tickets.
Oh, you turned it down?
I didn't turn it down. I said I will take them, but I gave them to my sister.
Oh, you're just a good brother. Just
Yeah.
a good brother.
And I said, hey, it's part of your
Christmas present.
Part of your Christmas present.
Nice. Very nice. Dude, that Celebrini kid, man, he's special. He's special. Who do you think? I mean, at this point, I think they both make Team Canada. We're going to get into the World Juniors in Team Canada and whether or not Ben Danford is going to be making the team or not. But when you look at Connor Bedard and you look at Macklin Celebrini, both of which rolling through Toronto this week, so we'll get up close and personal view by watching them this week. Like at this point, has Macklin Celebrini, would you say that the hype around him is actually higher than Bedard right now?
I think so. Just
right,
look at what he's doing.
It's insane.
He became the first teen he joined Crosby and Gretzky as one of the few teenagers with 30 points in their first 20 games of a season.
It's insane. I mean, you're talking about the guy who's second to only Nathan McKinnon in league scoring. Now, Bedard's right behind him. He's also top 5. But, Celebrini is doing it with a ragtag bunch over in San Jose. And he's a year younger. And continues to put up just numbers night after night after night. It's impressive stuff. Really impressive stuff. And I can't wait to watch both of them this week in action. Again, Celebrini will be in town tomorrow against the Maple Leafs, and then Bedard a little bit later on in the week. And of course, sandwiching that, Connor McDavid, also a pretty good hockey player. Okay, let's get to Ben Danford. So he was the Maple Leafs first round pick 2 years ago. Right? 2 years ago? Yes, correct. Yes, 2 years ago.
It was the first draft for True Living.
Right, correct. And they had traded back in the draft, picked up an extra pick, and then took Ben Danford with I think it was the 30th pick maybe in the first round. It was a late pick in the first round. And big right shot defenseman, smooth skating, more of a defensive defenseman type guy. And he was in Oshawa. He was the captain of the Oshawa Generals last year, but then was traded this year to the Brampton Bulldogs. And that team has absolutely been crushing.
Ridiculous. It's like the Dodgers of the OHL right now.
Yeah. Brantford, by the way. Brantford Bulldogs. Yeah. Sorry.
Did you say Hamilton? I didn't even catch that.
I guess at Brampton.
Sorry. Yeah, the Brantford. Because we talked about the Brampton Steelheads yesterday.
Yeah, the Brantford Bulldogs. Just absolutely just murdering teams. Sam McHugh was on that team too, actually. Another Maple Leafs draft pick. He was I think 7th rounder in that same draft. Also on the team. But anyways, McHugh won't be invited to the selection camp for Team Canada for the World Juniors next week, right in my neck of the woods in Niagara Falls. But Ben Danford will be there, and Ben Danford, I think, has a really good chance to make Team Canada as as one of their defensemen this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough every year. Team Canada, we know they've got a lot of talent. I think looking at the training camp roster, it's not a given. He will have a good
opportunity. You got it there?
To make it. Yeah, I got it.
You have it there.
So I'll put it to defense so you can see the defenseman. I'm gonna go maybe a little there you go, a little closer there. There are 3 draft eligible defensemen in this draft. Obviously, Keaton Veroff is the one that leads the charge because he's pushing Gavin McKenna for first overall pick this year.
Yeah, unlikely, but possible. If I'm not mistaken, did I hear this correctly that this year they're doing the selection camp a little different, where they brought a much smaller group or are bringing a much smaller group to Niagara, and it's just going to be one small round of cuts where they only brought a couple extra bodies. Yeah. So that gives Ben Danford a much larger chance to make it, because even you look at the number of defensemen here on this list. There's only 7, 8 defensemen. Yeah, Keishon Aitchison, Jackson Smith, Bronicky. We got 6 here, and then scroll up, and then there's another 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
Like, how many other players are there?
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 defensemen. Yeah, it's 9 defensemen.
And they'll probably bring 8.
Yeah, I think so. 7 or 8 defensemen. 8 probably is the number.
Yeah. So
I think you have to have I think the roster has to be 25.
Yeah. So you're probably going to bring 8 defensemen. Probably go 8, 14, and 3 is usually how they do it.
Yeah, and I think there's 15 forwards and 3 goalies.
Is that how that would math? I don't know if that maths.
No, in terms of at the camp, Ross.
So, at the camp, yeah. So I think it's pretty much they're just going to cut a couple of guys, and maybe they get some of the NHLers. Like, I know that there's a couple of guys who are at the NHL level who they might be able to get, like that Ben Kindle kid from Pittsburgh. Will they loan him? Michael Misa, possibly San Jose could potentially loan him out.
I think they've already. So I know that Michael Misa is confirmed.
Yes.
I know that Luchenko is confirmed.
Well, Luchenko's in the OHL. Is
he? Oh yeah, no, you're right. He played he's with Brantford.
Yeah.
There was the guy from Pittsburgh you were talking about. Why am I blanking on? Yeah,
and Kindle. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's Brunicky. Harrison Brunicky. I don't know if Kindle is I don't think he's been loaned out yet.
Harrison Brunicky is in the NHL.
Yep, second round pick. He was I know he was loaned out, and I think Zane Perek was also another one. But Zane
Perek.
Him we knew. Like him was like, I think Eric Francis had done this like 2 weeks ago, so he was going to be loaned out just because he hasn't really been doing much at the at the NHL level for Calgary, and Calgary's also just very bad.
Yeah. You might as well give him an opportunity to go out and try and win a championship and play some meaningful hockey. But all in all, it means that Ben Danford looks like there'll be a Maple Leafs flair on the World Championships. And last couple of years, Easton Cowan's been part of the group, so there has been a lot of there's been some Leafs flair over the last couple of years. Been able to root him on, but now hopefully Benny Danford will be out there making big time checks, open ice checks, and it'll give a lot of Leaf fans a chance to see what he's all about. Because I'd imagine his name, you heard what all the analysts had to say, you heard what we had to say after the draft, but how many Leaf fans actually went and watched him or have watched him play? Maybe if you're from Oshawa, you went to a Gens game, you had a chance to watch him, but for the most part, probably not a lot. But this is the big stage where you get to see some of the top prospects, and it's nice to see that Ben Danford is developing into one of those top prospects to the point where Hockey Canada feels necessary that he's at the selection camp, and he'll have a great opportunity to make the team as well. So you got to feel good if you're a Leaf fan seeing Ben Danford represented here. Yeah,
no, and I think you're going to be impressed with Ben Danford. I've watched clips. I've had some people tell me what they've noticed watching him play. Unfortunately, it's a little tough to watch some of these junior games in person when they're in Barrie, Sault Ste. Marie, Brantford. A little harder to get to, but just and games are not. I know if you're a junior hockey analyst, you were watching all the games. It's a little tougher, but I've liked what I've seen in terms of the maturity and the development path. Obviously, he's not lighting it up offensively, but that wasn't what his game was about.
No, his smooth skating, defensive defenseman. That's what he is. And if he can get the puck out of the zone, that's even better. He's got 15 points in 22 games, so he's not, like you said, lighting it up, but he's putting in some work, putting up some numbers here. And I'll be curious to see what he does, now that he's with Brantford as well. He's kind of had to split the season He played his first 8 games with Oshawa and then got traded to Brantford. So he's only played 14 games there, but 11 assists in 14 games. So, he's putting the puck in the right hands. That's a good sign. It's a good thing. And that Brampton team is going to be studs. I keep saying Brampton. Brantford. There we go.
Zach and I will be coming for you if you keep calling it Brantford.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. But they only have 2 regulation losses this year.
They're the Oklahoma City Thunder of the OHL.
Yeah, pretty much. It's crazy. Do they have any what other prospects they have? Jake O'Brien, who's first or second round pick this past season. He's on that team. I already mentioned Sam McHugh. Adam Benak. Never heard of him, but he's got 43 points in 26 games. It just seems like a team that's doing it by committee, to be honest with you. Like, they've got 6 or 7 guys who are all at a point or game or higher so far this season. So not bad. Adam Juracek, defenseman. He's got 29 points in 25 games. That's pretty good. But yeah, Ben Danford. Oh, Jet Lashenko's there now. Did he just get traded there? He might have just got traded there. Jet Lashenko's on that squad. Anyway, so good luck to Ben Danford. I am going to try and see if I can sneak out and get into the building and catch some of the practice. Maybe try and chat with Ben Danford a little bit, see how he's feeling or how his development is coming along. Maybe get his thoughts on how different this camp is compared to Leafs prospect camp and whatnot. So maybe we'll have some Ben Danford content for you next week once they get down to Niagara, my neck of the woods. All right, let's take one more break, Dave. Let's come back. Let's get into some cosign, no sign. It's been a while, but I'm excited for it. I got a heck of a question for you, and I can't wait to hear your answer. That's next in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is the best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment live. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you. And if you're one of those who never miss an episode and you're here each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, it's time to make it official. Join the Locked On Everydayer Club and get ad-free audio, access to our members-only Discord, and more, all built for our most loyal fans. You can click the link down below. It'll be in the description for more information to join our team's community. It's the Everydayer Club here in the Locked On Network. All right, Dave. It's time for some cosign, no sign. We haven't played this in quite some time, but with there being a couple off days in a row, it's a good chance to kind of sit back, decompress, and get a little creative with what we want to talk about here. So for those who are new to the podcast, welcome. Thank you for sitting around for 30 minutes till we get to this point in the podcast. But the way that it works is Dave and I are going to make a statement to one another. If we agree with the statement, we're going to co-sign it. If we disagree, then we no-sign it. Dave, why don't you go first, pal?
All right, Mike, it's time for the Leafs to make drastic changes to their power play units.
Ooh, cosign. Now, what are those drastic changes, though? Do you have a solution or a possible solution to what you're thinking?
So I was listening on the radio because the power play was brought up again.
Yeah, as it should be. It's horrendous, and
Terrible.
I think it's almost sub 14% now.
Yeah, and so the thought was, okay, I didn't like all the suggestions that were made in this segment, but I did tinker a bit in my mind of what I think the Leafs should do. And I think you got to split up Nylander and Matthews.
Ooh, that's
one on the top power play unit and one on the second power play unit, because neither one of them is doing what they need to do. And I think there's too much passiveness. So I was suggesting you take Matthews, Nyes, Domi, and Tavares with OEL at the point. Now in the second unit, you've got so essentially now you're going to have Easton Cowan, Nylander, Morgan Riley, and who are the other two? Scott Lawton, and who's the other guy I'm missing there? Well, when he was in the lineup, Nick Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson. Yeah. You know, McMahon, Joshua.
Yeah, well, it was McMahon because he is on the second unit right now, but obviously with the suspension, he won't be there the next game. But I just think you need someone.
Basically, you're flipping Domi and Nylander.
Yeah, pretty much. Now you can maybe the reason why I kept Tavares on PB1 is because if Matthew gets thrown out of the draw, you need someone else that can take a face off. I don't know if Domi is good enough on the draw. Like winning the face off is so crucial on the power play, right?
The Leafs, I mean, face offs is not like they're the best face off team in the NHL. They're number one in the NHL. They win 57% of their face offs. So winning the draw isn't necessarily the problem, but generating offense after that one draw seems to be kind of what they're lacking. And I'm not sure why. It's interesting. Like, I'm not sure personnel is necessarily the biggest issue. So, like, although I agree that they're, you could tinker with that. I almost think coming up with a new game plan, a new way to attack, could possibly unlock something. Like, play the puck down low a little more than up high, because it seems like it's just always at the top of the line there, right? Like at the top of the umbrella. Like maybe you try and filter things down low and you can get a little bit more offense that way. Some passes from behind the net, possibly, right? Like that could create some cross crease stuff, possibly. That's the only other thing that I could offer up. Like if it's not personnel, which it doesn't seem like they want to change the personnel, change the method of attack, like the way you get the puck to the net.
Yeah,
like at least you got to change something.
They're not like we talked about this last year ad nauseum when the power play was struggling. They need to be quicker. They need
move your feet. Yeah, move your feet and move the puck. That's 100% an issue.
Thinking too much.
Yeah, which again, are they gripping their stick? Is that part of it? Is it a mental thing where now it's so far gone that they're overcorrecting, so they're gripping the stick and they're making mistakes and they're looking for the perfect shot because they want to score, they need to score, they feel like they have to. Maybe that's part of it now. They're getting in their own heads. I don't know, but to be as simple as we can, yeah, I co-sign there needs to be some pretty drastic changes because, I mean, we're damn near 30 games into the season. We're 29 games in and your power play is 31st in the NHL at 13.7%. Like, simply not good enough. Not even close to good enough. So, yeah, there needs to be drastic changes. And that might even mean getting rid of the coach if he can't figure out how to get the power play going. That might be something else that potentially
it's not
percolate here.
Yeah, we're not talking about something that's new. It hasn't been working the last years. And
by the coach, I mean Mark Savard, by the way.
You and I were both pretty happy about having Mark Savard here because we've seen how it's worked with him in the past. It's just not working right now. Now, it's either you get rid of the coach that is having those issues or somebody else on the staff is taking over. Or you're bringing in somebody else. And it's going to be their job, their sole job, or I mean, they could have another job, is to do the power play. Yeah. Like you can't tell me that you can't go and find, I mean, my ideal, I don't think he would ever do it. I don't know if he's even wants to do it. Adam Oates would be my... Adam Oates, like I listen to him on, he does a lot of segments on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
His think process about just coaching and and skills and stuff, like I can understand why it was a big deal for him to be a coach in the NHL. I don't know who you were thinking. Were you thinking about Brucey?
I thought you were going to go to Brucey. Yeah, I did think that's.
I mean, look, in Washington, that power play was cooking at another level.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a hand he had in that. To be honest, I simply don't know. But Adam Oates, is he even still coaching?
No, he's doing a lot of skills consulting.
Yeah, I was gonna say he hasn't coached since 2014-15. He was with the Devils. He hasn't coached since then, so he's been out of the coaching game.
He's been out of the coaching game, but he's done a lot of work with players,
skills and development. Yeah, which is fair. Yeah, I don't know. They got to do something, man, because 13%. It's brutal.
It's lost them games. Like, let's be honest here. It's lost them games in the playoffs. It's cost them. Like,
yeah.
I just don't know how somebody looks at this and says this is good enough to continue.
It's not.
And sometimes, you know what?
Let's give them credit. They've tried different things, right? They've changed Riley, OEL. They went the 5-forward unit. They tried putting Matthews up at the top. So it's not like they've completely stuck to one thing and they're trying to, do it over and over and over again. They are trying different things. They just haven't found it yet, right? Like, I think we do need to, at least acknowledge that they've tried some different stuff, some of it through injury, but some of it also through the fact that, what they have been doing wasn't working. But they got to keep trying things, right? And maybe mix up the personnel a little more. Maybe change up the method of attack, play down low as opposed to up high more often. Just something different. Keep doing different things till you find something that works. Throw crap at the wall and see what sticks. That's kind of where they're at this point with the power play. All right, really quickly, because we went pretty long on that one, actually. It was good discussion, good conversation. Curious. Those who are who want to get on the discussion, let us know in the comment section down below how you would change the Maple Leafs power play. But here's one for you, Dave. It's probably pretty cut and dry one. Dennis Hildeby's strong play will allow the Maple Leafs to use a goaltender as a trade chip.
Ooh. I will co-sign it if this continues for another few games. With Celebrini coming up, with the Oilers coming up, like better offensive teams, if this stretch of play continues, now the real question is who? Because I can co-sign it, but here's the thing. You're trading one of these other goalies, you're betting huge that one of these goalies, that Hildeby is the guy, or not the guy, but can be a part of the tandem long term.
Oh, are you not offering up Hildeby as a potential?
I mean, you can. He would be look, there are enough teams that stink with their goaltenders. Edmonton.
Yeah.
Like, you can undercut a market big time because you hear Jari, Binnington, and you'd be like, how about a Hildeby that doesn't have a stupid contract and actually might even be a better option long-term for your team?
Such a small sample size. I feel like it'd be tough for a team like Edmonton specifically to put their eggs in the Hildeby basket. You know what I mean?
As opposed to the Stuart Skinner, Calvin Picker basket.
No, I get it, but it's like Hildeby could be Stuart Skinner.
Look, I guarantee if a team now, the problem the Leafs have with the other two goalies is their injury history. So if you throw up a Joseph Woll or an Anthony Stolarz, teams are like, oh yeah, we like them, but they get hurt. So why would we pay assets?
Yeah.
At least Hildeby has the health going for him right now.
It's fair. But I think it does bring it into conversation. Like, we talk a lot about how this team has no assets, right? They want to make trades and bring in good players. Well, what do they have to trade? They might have a goalie. I mean, one of these three if Hildeby proves that he can be part of a really good NHL tandem, you can move on from one of those three guys, whether it's Wall, whether it's Stolarz, maybe it's Hildeby if someone's willing to roll the dice. I would think more of a younger rebuilding team that's bringing in a Hildeby as opposed to a team that has Stanley Cup aspirations. I wouldn't put my eggs in the basket if I'm Edmonton thinking he's going to bring us to the promised land. That might be a little strong. Like a Montreal, maybe, whose goaltending has not been very good.
Yeah,
Well, they
I don't
brought
know how
Jacob
much,
Fowler, I think I saw. No, I know. I'm just trying to think of it.
Yeah, Jacob Fowler just got recalled because I think Montembeau has been dealing with something. And
or if you're what if you're Anaheim and you're like, oh, let's go and get someone behind Lucas Dostal that's better than Peter Mrazek, maybe.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I'm just trying to think of random players.
And Jose doesn't really have a goalie, in my opinion.
No, you don't like Askarov?
He's okay, but that San Jose team has allowed a lot of goals.
Yeah, I think he's played decently well. He's someone I'd be interested in, but Philly could use a goalie.
Philly could definitely use a goalie.
Philly could use a goalie for sure.
I mean, Pittsburgh could be like, if we get rid of Jari somewhere and we bring in you think Kyle Dubas would want to bring in a goalie that he drafted?
Yep, that's another person as well. Possibly that's one. Columbus is another team that could have interest in a guy like that. Maybe the Utah Mammoth, bring in another guy to compete with Vejmelka. If the Blues move on from Binnington, maybe they bring in a young goaltender to mix in with Joel Hofer. Those are probably the teams we're looking at, I guess. That makes some sense here. So yeah, I mean, it's possible, but I think the Leafs do have a little bit more, I guess, trade assets than we originally thought. If maybe one of the goalies could be used in a move if Hildeby's ready to play NHL games. So or Hildeby himself has definitely grown a lot more trade value over the course of the last couple of weeks. I can confidently say that around the NHL. So I think that's something worth pondering. If there was one between Stolarz and Woll, how hard would it be, you think, for you to choose which one you'd rather keep and which one you'd rather let go?
Oh man, it's tough.
First round picks on the table. Who are you shipping out?
I would probably lean Stolarz just because of Woll's age. I'm banking more on Woll with his age, stick around with his team a bit. Don't get me wrong, Stolarz I think has the ability to steal games a bit more than Woll does.
I think Woll has a higher ceiling, actually. I think Woll has a higher ceiling. It comes down to health, is the thing with Woll, right? But all right, good discussion. Fun chats. Love the old cosine, no sine. We should do it more often. Leads to some good chats. All right, that'll do it for us here today in the podcast. Thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at D_Morassutti, and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys tomorrow to tee up Leafs and Sharks. But until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.